In 1996, ADK released a shooter that was actually an action puzzle game and one that people loved. That game was Twinkle Star Sprites, and it was also ADK's last Neo Geo game release. The game relies on well-timed shots as well as combos to dump debris on your opponent's screen. There are two types of standard attack, a normal shot and a charge-up shot. Each character starts with two bombs, which enables the player to clean the screen while briefly acquiring a state of invincibility. The two players' fields are separated by a vertical bar, with a series of enemies arriving from the top of the screen. The player to successfully destroy the enemies in chains will send one or more fireball projectiles to the opponent's screen. Shooting a normal attack several times reflects them back as glowing reverse attacks. If reverse attacks are reflected again, a number of powerful counterattacks in the shape of one or more indestructible enemies appear. Reflecting many reverse attacks at once can instead summon a boss. Of course, these attacks vary from enemy to enemy. The Neo Geo CD port is basically the same as the Neo Geo AES version. There are a few differences though, such as the arranged soundtrack and art gallery. The art gallery isn't so great though due to the low resolution and, to be honest, quite messy scans. Saturn fans are so lucky as they have the ultimate version of Twinkle Star Sprites. ADK really went overboard in adding extra stuff. In addition to the rearranged music, there's an anime intro, full voices for all of the cutscenes, extra dialogue for all of the other characters, since story mode is only focused on Ran, and the handy rapid fire button option, the ability to carry over your power meter after dying, and extra little graphical tidbits here and there. There's even an entirely new character, the purple-haired Chinese girl, Mei-rin, who attacks with her goofy panda face things and cosplays during her bomb attacks. Sadly, just like the Neo Geo CD version, there's the usual slowdown and brief loading times between stages. The sound effects are pretty low in quality, but overall it's an awesome port. But wait, it doesn't end there. The Saturn version includes a fan disc full of artwork in 480i resolution, a karaoke mode, and messages from each of the characters. In 1999, SNK ported Twinkle Star Sprites to the Dreamcast, but unlike ADK's Saturn port, this unfortunately is missing almost all of the extras from the Saturn version. Still, you can choose between both original and original HQ and arranged soundtracks, and you can turn off the slowdown entirely if you wish. Moreover, there are no load times and multi-language support is present too. The PlayStation 2 has two Twinkle Star Sprite games, however the La Pretty Princess game is not valid for this video since it's a sequel. That said, the original can be found on ADK's Tamashi compilation disc. What we get here is a pretty much arcade perfect port with no extras. And let's take a look at all those versions of Twinkle Star Sprites running side by side.